this video, I will share with you the 3 most common mistakes men make when it comes to discipline. And I know they are real because 3 years ago I was fat, I got in shape, I became disciplined, and I had made these mistakes and overcame them. But before I go over them, let's talk about the marshmallow experiment. You've probably heard about that experiment where kids got one marshmallow and were told that if they would wait for like 5 or 15 minutes, they would get another one. Most kids ate the one marshmallow and didn't get the second one. But the kids would delay gratification, the kids would use discipline to resist the temptation to eat that marshmallow. They followed them throughout their lives, and those same kids performed better when it came to finance, when it came to the job they had, to their degrees and studies in general, their grades. And most importantly, those kids, they were happier human beings. Their mental health was better on average than the kids who didn't wait. Discipline is that important. It can literally be the make or break when it comes to you in your life. That's somewhat of what these studies showed. It can be the make or break when it comes to your fitness journey, when it comes to your studies, developing it, and avoiding the mistakes I'm about to reveal to you might be the make or break when it comes to your discipline and by extension all of the amazing benefits we've just gone over. The first and probably the least bad mistake is about your environment. You've probably heard about the idea that you are only as good as your environment. If you haven't, just think about cavemen thousands of years ago. If one of them wanted to stop consuming artificial sweeteners, how hard would it be? Now you might say, Reed, that's a dumb question. And I would agree with you. There would be no fucking friction because artificial sweeteners didn't really exist, they were not used. So he would just keep living his day-to-day life and no artificial sweeteners would be in it. On the other side, these days, ask the average Monster addict, how hard would it be? Some of them would tell you, I would not be able to live without it. That's the power of environment, bro. If you will change your environment in a way that will make doing the hard things you wanna do easier, you will have an easier time doing them. You will have an easier time being disciplined doing them. On the other side, if your environment will be optimized for doing the other stuff, for eating junk food, for masturbating or whatever, things you don't really want to do, you would do them more. Of course you would. Now I won't sit here and tell you to be full on autistic with it and change everything. This is the least important thing, the mistake out of these mistakes. Just because it can be, just because you can make it and still be disciplined and still go to your workout and still do what you know you should be doing. Even me, I have some junk food in my environment and I resist it. Now, it's not optimal, right? But it is possible. The actionable step is to both find ways to make hard work easier and to find ways to make easy things, bad things harder. And then there is a second mistake, and it is your mentality. A lot of people have that mentality where hard work is seen as something bad, as something painful, as something hard. And the truth about building habits, I've learned building a bunch of good habits like reading and meditating. I meditate every day for like 10 minutes. I read every day for at least 40 minutes. I went to this point from not reading at all for years and wanting to implement and just failing consistently. I got to this point by realizing that one of the core principles of creating habits is that the harder something is deemed to do by your mind, the less likely you will do it, the harder it will actually be for you to do it. So this is not as deadly as the third mistake, but it is still pretty bad. It is basically looking at the work you need to use discipline to do is really fucking painful. Now, of course, you must see some pain, just because the nature of it. You basically use discipline only for doing hard work, because there is no discipline needed for less hard work. The actionable step is just try to force yourself to see it as a more positive thing, to see the positive aspect of that hard work, the pride you will feel afterwards, the positive aspects of it in general. When you go to the gym, think about seeing your friends. Don't think about that really hard set you don't want to go through. And by doing so, you will be more motivated to do it. You will need to use this discipline, and your behavior, what you will do practically, will be more disciplined. And then there is a third and worst mistake, and it is in those times you think about going to that workout or eating that meal or doing that disciplined thing. When you are about to do it, it is to give to the pain. It is to not do it. It is to just don't resist the urges to do something worse and do the something that is worse. Lie in your bed, lie on your bed, masturbate, eat that piece of junk food. It is to not use discipline. Most people, they don't realize that the most important thing is to actually do the discipline thing. I could mention a bunch of ways to become more disciplined here, but all of them shrink into irrelevance in comparison to do when you need to do. Have the courage, the ability to just shut your mind down to go and do the thing when you need to do it. That's the actionable step. That's the most important thing. I wish I could tell you something else. I wish I could give you like something more sexy. There are none of these things. When you need to go and do that thing, make sure you actually do it, because at the end of the day, going through that level of pain, that's discipline, and that's unavoidable, and that's basically it. Bye.